them. And as I said, going by points, the Eagles in fourth. Going by winning percentage, Quebec in fourth. And I'd say it's likely a certainty that at the end of the next two games, because these teams are picking up points, one of these teams will still be in fourth. Whom it will be, we shall see as the Eagles and Remparts meet for the first time. The Eagles have played all other 16 opponents in the queue. The Remparts, the last piece of the puzzle. Connor Toll in nets tonight for the Eagles. Patrick Denegay in nets for the Remparts. Should be a good one. The Remparts, like the Eagles, have been suffering with injuries, but they are getting healthy. They know the defenseman of the back end, Ty Fair, is out for the season, but for the most part, they have returned to form. So, Eagles are going to start with the third line. The Eagles happy to have Adam Klouse back after he missed the last 4 games. He's in the starting lineup, recovering from sickness. Maxime Soche will take this opening face-off. He is going to do so against Mathis Loisel, and we're underway. Draw one by the Ramparts. Puck comes into the Quebec zone. It'll be Ewens with it. Cal Ewens, 4 years in the OHL, came to Quebec this year, and he's had a massive impact on both ends of the ice, leading that Ramparts blue line. He'll hand the puck to Freddie Meyer. Meyer will skate the puck up the ice. Into the Eagles zone it goes. It'll go behind the net. Della Durante being checked along the wall there by Rousseau Amel. Puck comes back now along the sideboards. Again, our first look at the Ramparts this year. Puck comes back to Meyer at the point. Freddie Meyer's younger brother Carter, first-round draft pick of the Ramparts this year. He's not in Quebec, at least not yet. Puck comes back to Ewens. It'll go wide of the goal. Loisel goes after it on the half boards. He's being checked by Della Durante. Now Hartland's got it for the Eagles. Hartland will skate over center. Puck will come back along the sidewall as comes back deep into the Quebec zone. And now Ewens has got it for the Ramparts. He'll chip it along the wall. Puck comes into neutral territory now as Jean Draw brings it back into the Quebec zone, looking to make the play to Peich. Now it comes to the side of the net, and Denegay will cover for a face-off. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Okay, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Face-off is going to be to the right here of the Quebec Rempart netminder. Wallar will take this draw. He'll do so against Dorian. Clean draw for the Eagles. Romeo, a shot, scores! Lucas Romeo gets the Eagles on the board, 67 seconds in. A bit of a monkey off the back for the Eagles' 20-year-old. That's a key goal to strike first. Just get pucks to the net. First shot on goal is a goal for the Eagles' 20-year-old, and the Eagles off and running. Shot from the top of the circle. And I think the Eagles may have been able to get traffic in front of Denegay, and the Eagles strike first. Lucas Romeo with his 10th goal of the season. Eagles win the draw. Eagles this year 18-5-7 when they score first. Quebec 9-18-1 when they allow the first goal. Eagles win the draw. Puck comes out to center. Here's Morrison. Will move the puck into the Eagles zone. Lost it to McCullough. McCullough will send it back there for Holomego. On the left side. Puck comes back and it's turned over. Dorian will dump it into the Eagles zone. Wallar draws an assist on the goal. The Eagles lead 1-0. Romeo, the only shot of the game in the first 90 seconds is a goal. Puck comes back to Wallar. He'll send it for Romeo. He'd love another one. Puck comes deep into the Quebec zone. Charbonneau's got it for the Rempart. Lost the puck to Romeo. He ends up turning it over to Quinn. Quinn now will skate up towards his own blue line. Ends up turning the puck over to Jean Draw, who lost it to Dagenet. Maddox Dagenet, who no doubt has scouts watching him. Here's Nathan Quinn. The Flyers draft pick, a shot and a save made. Quinn, the leading scorer of the Ramparts. Boy, he's impressive at 18, already putting up the points. Here's Brady, a shot wide of the goal. Josh Brady was teammates with Caden Kelly in Ottawa in the OHL. Puck comes back now into the Eagles zone. Quinn's got it again. He's got Beveridge driving the net. Here's Beveridge, a shot. Save made there by Toll into the corner. Puck comes back along the wall now. Jean Draw left side for Peich. Here's Peich now coming in over center. Peich will push the puck into the corner. It'll go wide now. Jennelson's got a sharp angle shot. It's blocked as it'll come to Roman Letalien. Letalien ends up turning it over. Puck comes back now for Quinn. He loses the puck. It'll come back out along the center red line. Beveridge will dump it into the Eagle zone. Toll's out of the net to play it. Toll will rim it along the wall. Puck comes to Pilling. Here's Pilling now. He'll skate up the center. Ends up losing the puck to Ewens. Ewens sends it to DeRousseau. Here's DeRousseau jetting into the Eagles zone. Toll's out of the net to play it. Connor Toll makes the short feed for Kupak. Kupak now for Andrews. as Deladorante will take possession. 17:03 left in the period. Eagles being outshot 2-1, but that one Eagle shot is a Lucas Romeo goal. Puck comes back now to the blue line. Here's Ewens at center point. Cal Ewens, he'll shoot wide of the goal. DeRousseau's got it in the corner. DeRousseau moves it along the boards. Puck will come back now for Quebec. Quebec shovels it out into the blue line of the Quebec zone. It goes. Puck comes back now into neutral territory as it's chipped forward. Puck comes onto the stick of McCullough behind the net. Here's Aiden McCullough. He'll leg the puck along the left side out towards his own blue line. McCullough skates by the penalty boxes. Down the left side it goes. Puck comes back now to Etienne Desjardins, the Ramparts captain and former Eagle. Puck into the Eagles zone now. Loisel being held by Holomego. Play behind the Eagles net. Loisel's after it. Hartland there as well. Puck comes behind the net. Throwing it in front as that's LaBelle trying to get it back to the point. Comes back for Morrison for Desjardins. Desjardins down the half wall there for Rousseau-Hamel. As Rousseau-Hamel will cut to the middle of the ice. A shot save made. Toll will cover for a face-off as we played 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Eagles lead by a count of 1-0 here at Center 200. Remind Eagles fans you can be the fan of the game all season long on 1270 AM CJCB. Text the keyword along with your name to 902-595-5900. Tonight's keyword is Fleury in honor of Marc-Andre Fleury's Hall of Fame induction to Q Hall of Fame. Fleury. Text Fleury 902-595-5900. You can be the fan of the game and win a $15 gift card courtesy of Luann's Cafe. Eagles win the draw. Jentelson had it, lost it. Play goes the other way. Ovcharov sends the puck forward. Now comes back a shot. Dorian is blocked. Dorian drafted by the St. Louis Blues, the son of Pierre Dorian. Puck comes now into the Quebec zone. Definitely an Ontario flavor to this Ramparts team as Ewens had the puck. Ovcharov sends the puck across. It'll come now into the Eagles zone. Back to the point. Meyer couldn't hold the line. Now Ewens, fifth-year player in the CHL, Cal Ewens. They'll move the puck ahead. Dorian will push it in the referee's crease up the ice into the Eagles zone. Now Deladorante over to Romeo. 15:22 remaining here in the opening period. Lucas Romeo has the goal. The Eagles ahead 1-0. Puck coming into the Ramparts zone now. And pass is intercepted by Quinn. Here's Nathan Quinn jetting up the right side. A shot. Save made as Toll will cover. And you can already see in the early going, Nathan Quinn, the most dangerous forward for the Ramparts. And again, he is their leading point getter. 63 points in just 48 games this year for the draft pick of the Philadelphia Flyers. Coming up with the intermission, we're going down memory lane this day in Eagles history. We'll hear about the Eagles rallying in Bathurst. A couple of rough nights in New Brunswick. Blue Liners getting it done and a record-setting score at Center 200. Among those starring tonight, Andre Pavelek, Ivan against the Eagles. We'll hear about Connor Garland. Play here in the Eagles zone as Dagenet's got it behind the net. Maddox Dagenet drafted with a pick that originally belonged to the Eagles. As the puck comes back to Gendron. Gendron will skate up over center into the Quebec zone. Puck comes now for Morrison, Charlie Morrison. Not drafted his first year Q draft eligibility, now potentially an NHL draft pick. Puck comes in on Toll and he'll cover for a faceoff. Morrison is almost certainly to be drafted in the NHL draft as the native of New Brunswick in his 18-year-old season. Reminder, when the Eagles are on home ice, you can purchase 50/50 tickets from anywhere in the province. Go to eagles5050.ca. And tickets will be on sale until the third period. Go get your tickets, and the winner, I can tell you, is going to take home at least $1,500. That jackpot will only grow throughout the night. Again, go to eagles5050.ca. Draw one by the Eagles. Puck comes back to Brady Flynn. He'll throw the puck along the left side into the Quebec zone it goes. Now Roman L'Italien. He'll move the puck to Peich. Peich moves it along the low boards. Now comes behind the net. Charbonneau tries to move it to DeRousseau. Howard jumping in as well. Playing the Quebec zone here as the puck comes back for Holomego. Puck sneaks. It's on the goal line. Oh, and that was on the goal line for an eternity. And Denegay is able to cover up. Oh, boy. That puck just subtly snuck onto the goal line. It was sitting there for what felt like so long, just waiting to be tapped in. I think they would have to look at this. I don't know if they would have enough evidence to call this a goal, but as the shot was coming in from the blue line, as Patrick Denegay, the Remparts netminder, might have been tipped on its way to the goal. And it just dribbled by his glove, slowly went behind him to hit the post and rested on the goal line. And they will look to see. if this could potentially be a goal. Michael Hamilton says no goal, and away we go. Face-off will come into the Quebec zone. Best chance the Eagles have had, aside from the Romeo goal. As the face-off will come out in front of Denegay. It's going to be to his right. As the Eagles, Rempart, first of two meetings. Tomorrow they'll play again, obviously, as the face-off will be out in front of Denegay. Eagles win the draw, but the puck comes back to neutral territory. Pilling will send it to McCullough. Here's a McCullough, chips it along the right side, looks for Chiron. Chiron now for Pilling. Pilling had to wait for Anders to tag up. Puck comes deep into the Quebec zone. Now it's behind the net for Meyer. Meyer looking for Ewens. Ewens will move the puck forward as Meyer throwing his weight around. Freddie Myers Jr., his dad played in the NHL. Oh, possible breakaway here for Xavier Labelle. Labelle coming in all alone on Toll, shooting, and it's over the net. What an opportunity. That was rebound, comes wide of the goal. Rousseau Hamel couldn't get a shot off. Now Loisel's got it behind the net. Loisel has it behind the goal. He'll throw it out for Labelle. Puck comes back to Loisel, back to the point for Ewens. Ewens sends it across. There's a shot, and it's blocked by Chiron. Puck comes to the front of the net. Good pressure here. Ramparts' third line's had some looks tonight. Here's a chance for Rousseau Hamel at the crossbar. Oh boy, breakaway and a crossbar in the same shift. Puck comes back for Rousseau Hamel, back for Meyer. Meyer's got it at the left point now for Rousseau Hamel. Rousseau Hamel does a little loop there. He'll send it back to Meyer. Meyer a shot, and the puck tips up. And at a play, Eagles dodge a couple of bullets. They lead 1-0. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Lucas. Lucas Romeo, the goal scorer tonight, is the Eagles with a 1-0 edge over the Quebec Rempart. Remparts out shooting the Eagles 7-2, but it is the Eagles in front. Coming up at the intermission, we're going to be joined by former Cape Breton Eagles defenseman and current Quebec Remparts captain, Etienne Desjardins. We're going to talk to Etienne about his memories of his time with the Eagles, talk about being named captain in Quebec. We'll talk about the International Pee Wee Tournament, which was in Quebec. Also talk about staying out of the penalty box and getting into a fight earlier this year. That's coming up later at the intermission. Etienne Desjardins will join us. Eagles holding a 1-0 advantage. Draw won by the Eagles. Puck comes back now for Jettleson along the right side. Jettleson lost the puck. Here's Egan Beveridge, the former Sea Dog. First game back from injury. He's been good for Quebec as puck comes back to the blue line. There's a shot by Quinn. It'll go off the end boards. Beveridge perhaps needing a change of scenery, so he's done well with the Ramparts. Dagenet back for Quinn. Ends up turning it over. Now Gendron will fire it all the way down the ice. That could be icing. No, it's not. Peitsch gets to the hash marks first. Peitsch has got the puck, throws it in front. As the puck goes off Desjardins, it's covered there by Denegay. He'll cover for a faceoff with 12:41 to go. Patrick Denegay called up in November, and I think he's helped the Remparts quite a bit during his tenure. 17-year-old stands 6'2", 190. And this year, a .913 save percentage. Nothing wrong with that. Face-off will be to the left here of Denegay as it'll come to his left with Dorian and Boilard taking this face-off. Draw won by the Eagles cleanly. Romeo had it, lost it. Puck comes back to Ovcharov. Ovcharov will break into the Eagles zone. Ovcharov rushing in his first year in the CHL. As puck comes back now, and Ovcharov actually had some communication with some of the players of the Pee Wee tournament. We're going to hear about that from Etienne at the intermission. Here's Meyer. He'll fire the puck along the left side. Dorian being checked there along the wall there by Romeo. Penalty coming up here as Romeo, I think, feels that Dorian made sure that infraction was noticed. But it is going to be a penalty against Lucas Romeo. So Romeo, the only player, I guess, prominently on the score sheet thus far in more ways than one. Should note this year, the Eagles are 6-0-2 in games where Romeo scores. The Eagles, Quebec's power play, 13th in the league at 18.87. On the road, it's 17th at 13.76. Eagles penalty kill second in the league at 82.26. On home ice, it's fifth at 82.35. Face off to the right here of the Cape Breton Eagles goaltender, Connor Toll. Eagles win the draw as Quebec, as hooking is the call, as Rob McNamara tells us here in the speaker. Meyer will skate up towards his own blue line. Over center into the Eagles zone along the left wing. Puck comes now behind the net. Out in front, chance for Straka, had it, lost it. He'll send it back to the point for Quinn. Quinn's got it at left point. He'll move the puck to Dagenet, top right circle. Dagenet now shooting. It's blocked. Now Gendron will take possession. He'll skate along the left side as he'll bring it over center. Gendron skating into the Quebec zone. Puck comes back now to Beveridge up the left wing. Here's Egan Beveridge coming up. Little drop pass. Here's a sharp angle shot. Stop. Quebec power play. 1:13 left in it. Puck will come back to Meyer. Meyer at left point. Down the wall he goes for Quinn. Quinn, alternate captain there for the Rempart. Puck goes to Meyer, and he couldn't hold the puck, and the Rempart have to tag up. 1 minute left here in their power play. 11:14 remaining in the opening period. Puck comes back for Ewens behind the net. Here's Cal Ewens. He'll skate up towards his own blue line, moves the puck to DeRousseau, sends it back for LaBelle. LaBelle will bring it over center into the Eagles zone. LaBelle trying to streak through. LaBelle had a breakaway earlier in the period, and he ended up going wide of the net. Same shift, and one of his teammates hit the post. Puck comes back all the way down the ice, and the Eagles will watch as the Rempart have to reset. Then again, we'll send the puck to Ewens. Here's Ewens. He'll pace over center. A little drop there for LaBelle. LaBelle coming in over the blue line in the left wing into the Eagles zone. He goes. Here's LaBelle. Pass to the sideboards. Ran out of space. Comes back to the point there. Ewens had it briefly. Pilling, great job on the penalty kill. He'll dump it into the Quebec zone. Here's Ewens with it. Cal Ewens will skate up towards his own blue line over center. He'll bring it into the Eagles zone as penalty with 8 seconds left in it. Here's Dubé jumping into the play. Dubé will send it back to DeRousseau at right point. Here's DeRousseau, a little drop for Ewens. Ewens at center point. Ewens fans on it. Oh, possible chance for Romeo into the box. Here's Romeo coming in alone. Lucas Romeo looking for a second of the night. He's got it! Lucas Romeo through Denegay, and the Eagles lead it 2-0. The old out of the box breakaway for Lucas Romeo. Coming up the left wing. And rips it through, and he never really went center on, but he didn't need to. He just came up that left wing as the center of the ice was kind of taken away by Ewens, but it didn't matter. Lucas Romeo's second of the night. Eagles lead 2-0. Draw won by Quebec. Shots are 8-3 in favor of the Rempart, but the Eagles are up 2-0. Here's Adam Klouse back in the lineup tonight for the Eagles. He'll skate along the left side, drop past McCullough. McCullough throws the puck forward. It's intercepted there by Rousseau Hamel. He'll skate up the right wing. He'll feed the front of that, looking for Howard. Howard being checked along the wall there by Hartland. Comes back along the wall. Puck comes back out, and it's covered there by Toll. We'll take a break. Listen to McDonald Auto. Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Face off to the right of Connor Toll. The Eagles lead 2-0. Pair of goals from Lucas Romeo. Eagles win the draw. Della Durante will push the puck there for Quebec. Now Desjardins finds Rousseau Hamel. Shot save made. Puck comes out into neutral territory as Morrison will skate back after it. Morrison fires it through the middle of the ice as puck comes now into the Eagles zone. As here's Quebec with it. Quebec, little chip for Pilling. Boulard once again sets up a Romeo goal. Here's Della Durante. Della Durante, a shot stopped. Puck will come back the other way as skating up the ice is Mathis Loisel, the overager. As Charron takes possession. Charron coming in over the blue line into the Quebec zone. Charron trying to get by Meyer. As Charron will throw the puck for Boulard, and play blown down. We have a penalty called by Jonathan Langell behind the play. 8:58 remaining here in period number 1. Penalty is going to Quebec for the first time tonight. The Eagles are going to the power play. Cross-checking call against Ryan Howard. Eagles going to the power play. Eagles power play 16th in the queue at 16.67. On home ice, 14th at 17.58. Quebec's penalty kill 12th in the queue at 77.39. On the road, 11th at 77.45. Face off to the left of Denegay. Dorian will take the draw against Gendron. Quebec takes possession. Morrison being checked along the wall. Now Gendron will try to wrap it around. Shot and a save made, as it'll be covered up by Denegay, and he'll wait to see a face-off. It's the Eagles' first power play of the night. 8:50 remaining in the period, 1:52 left in the Howard Minor. Eagles will use Elliot Letallian on the draw. Peitsch to his left, Roman Letallian to his right. Jettleson left point, Gendron right point. Dorian will take the draw. He has Desjardins, Morrison out there along with Rousseau-Hamel. Dorian, late birthday in his 20-year-old season for the Ramparts. Gendron comes off the point to take the draw. Elliot Letallian will go to the blue line. Draw one by the Eagles. Jettelson's got it now at the point. Jettleson down the wall for Peitsch. Shot by Elliot Letallian. Flutters wide. Now Gendron's got it on the right side. He'll send it back for Jettleson. Gendron thrown into the boards. Penalty coming up against Quebec. Will the Eagles let the Ramparts touch the puck? I don't know if they let them do it, but they do it. And the Eagles are going to a 5-on-3 power play. Nothing but numbers in front of Rousseau-Hamel, and that's going to be called a check to the head, it looks like. So it'll set up an extended 5-on-3 for 1:40. So the Remparts are going to use Morrison, Desjardins, and Dorian, two defensemen on their penalty kill. Faceoff comes to the left of Denegay. Gendron will take it. Has the Letallian brothers on the wings. Jettleson left point, Peitsch right point. Draw one by Quebec. Desjardins will send it back for Morrison. Charlie Morrison, the New Brunswick native, tries to clear, and he will. Just when you're down 3-on-5, sometimes the clearing, you don't worry about killing time. Just try to get it down the ice. Here's Jettleson. He'll skate up over center, veering towards the right side of the ice. Chips it off a broken stick. Jettleson will send it back now to Roman Letallian. Jettelson's got it again. He'll throw it back to Gendron. Gendron slowly going down the right side. He'll send it back to Jettleson. Jettleson over to Peitsch, top left circle. Peitsch down the wall. Here's Roman Letallian in front. Chance, save made. Denegay able to follow the puck so far. Lots of action in the crease. Puck cleared away. Now Gendron will throw it back to the point. Here's Jettleson with it. Jettleson over to Peitsch, top left circle. Peitsch a shot, save made. Rebound, it's wide. Puck comes back to the side. Desjardins got it now for Quebec. He's pinned to the inboards there by Roman Letallian. Open point, Jettleson. Jettleson a shot, it's over the net. Rebound, Gendron scores! Louis Gendron draws the penalty, scores a power play goal. Eagles lead it 3-0. What pressure for the Eagles, 5-on-3, and it finishes with a Louis Gendron tap inside of the net over the pad of Denegay, and the Eagles lead 3-0. The offensive efficiency, the Eagles have now equaled their output from the road trip. The goal scoring coming tonight in the early going. Face-off will come at center. Soche will take the draw against Loisel, as the Eagles could not have asked for a better start. And don't forget, the Eagles are still on the power play for another 1:07 here. Rousseau-Hamel in the box. So we'll see if they can continue to build on this lead. 14th goal of the season for Gendron. Eagles this year 8-1-3 in games where Louis Gendron scores, as we await the puck to be dropped. Eagles, remember, will be taking on the Ramparts again tomorrow night. So you can see former Eagle Etienne Desjardins in the race for home ice. Go to Ticketmaster.ca, search Cape Breton Eagles, or call or visit the box office, 902-564-2200. Eagles lead 3-0, and they're still in the power play for 1:07. Draw one by the Ramparts. Puck comes into the Eagles zone. It'll come back around now for McCullough. McCullough will skate out towards his own blue line. Throws the puck along the right side there for Romeo. Chip pass there for Soche. Meyer behind the net. Along the wall there for Loisel. Loisel will skate up to center. Into the Eagles zone it goes. Loisel being trailed there by Boilard. Boilard has 2 assists tonight. Puck comes back to Romeo, who has 2 goals. Boilard will skate up towards his own blue line, and he'll fire the puck over to Romeo. Romeo rips it wide of the goal. as Ewan's being checked by Hartland. Eagles still in the power play for another 23 seconds here. Meyer for Dubé. Dubé up the right side. All the way down the ice it goes. It'll come back now into the Remparts zone. As puck comes back behind the Remparts net. All the way down the ice. Jettleson and Roman L'Italien draw the assists. Toll out of the net to play the puck. He'll hand it off to Quebec along the right side. Penalty has come to an end. Here's Peich jetting over center into the Quebec zone. Peich now for Gendron. Looks to get it to Peich. Team's back to 5-on-5. Della Durante, top right circle. Shot, redirect. Flips into the corner. Now Gendron will try to skate out into the Quebec zone. Here's Dorian with it for the Rempart. 6:22 remaining here in the first period. The Eagles with a 3-0 lead. Romeo's got a pair. Gendron has a power play goal. Here's Brady and Gendron mixing it up. Puck comes to Roman L'Italien now behind the net. Play here deep in the Quebec zone. L'Italien looking for a pass option. He'll hand it off as puck comes back now for Rousseau Hamel. It'll come back to the point for Peich. Peich will throw towards the net. It'll flutter into the corner. 5:55 remaining in the opening period. The Eagles holding a 3-0 lead as it comes out to the front. Now Rousseau Hamel will send the puck forward as it comes out to Straka. Andreas Straka, the second-year Slovakian, dumps it into the Eagles zone. Puck comes behind the net now for Holomego. Holomego will set up behind the net with 5:38 remaining in the first period of play. He'll send the puck to Romeo. Denegay watches it go by. Boilard's got the puck now. He's met by Desjardins. He'll try to send the puck to Elliot L'Italien. Denegay being swarmed. Chance for Jettleson jumping in. Rebound. Romeo looking for the hat trick. And play is blown down. I don't know if a penalty was called or if the referee lost sight of the puck. Penalty was called, an interference penalty. We'll sort that out when we come back. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270, CJCB. Thank you, Roman. Roman L'Italien's going to join us for Sweet Talk coming up at the intermission. We're going to talk about family time playing board games. And we'll also talk about players, coaches, foods that are good, both raw and cooked, and more. That's coming up at the intermission. Roman L'Italien for Sweet Talk. Etienne Desjardins is also going to join us. And they just had a nice little graphic of him up on the screen, welcoming him back to Sydney. And, of course, if the Eagles and Ramparts don't play in the playoffs, this could be it for Etienne Desjardins in this building because of the way the schedule works. Quebec would not be in that center Twitter next season. Face-off will be to the right of Toll. As the Eagles and the Rempart, first of two meetings, Eagles lead 3-0. Draw one by the Eagles. Puck comes back to Quebec. He'll fire it all the way down the ice. As the penalty we were talking about before the break was to Lucas Romeo for interference. So Romeo, quite the stat line in this first period. 2 goals and 2 minor penalties. Puck comes back now to Meyer. He'll skate towards his own blue line. Now it comes up to the Eagles blue line. Dagenet's got it. He'll send it back to the point for Meyer at center point. Meyer will hand it off to Dagenet. He's got the puck. He'll send it there for Meyer. Meyer now to Quinn. Quinn holds. He'll send it out. Dagenet fires the puck across, looking there for Beveridge. As Beveridge holding sharp angle shot wide of the net. It'll come back to the point for Quinn. Quinn holds at center point. Quinn now makes the play there for Dagenet. Back to the blue line. Comes back to Quinn. Quinn, center point. Here's Quinn. He'll move the puck. A shot scores. Maddox Dagenet. Hammer time for the former #1 overall pick. Gets the Ramparts on the board. It's 3-1. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. power play goal for Maddox Dagenais has the Ramparts on the board as Dagenais with his 27th goal of the season. And you probably remember that story. He was ranked #1. The Eagles had the top pick and looked like he really wanted to play in Quebec City. The Eagles traded that pick to Quebec, and he has been a very good player in the queue, to say the least. Could sneak into the first round of the NHL draft. Here's Jedelson. He's got the puck behind the net. Jedelson sets up behind the goal. 4:13 remaining here in the first period as Klouse will take possession. He'll send the puck to Hartland. Hartland along the right side, rubbed out by Morrison. Puck comes to Klouse. Klouse sends it back to the point for Jedelson. Jedelson down the right wall. Eagles lead 3-1. Klouse has the puck. He's being checked there by DesRousseau. Now Desjardins moves the puck for Morrison. Morrison along the right side. Puck comes back along the side wall. Morrison's got it now for the Rempart. He'll send the puck up over center as Dubé along the left wall. Power play goal for Dagenais as Jedelson will set up behind the net. Both teams with a power play goal in this first period as the Eagles lead 3-1. Puck comes back to Ewens. Cal Ewens will push the puck into the Eagles zone. Mentioned he played 4 years in the OHL and now has made his way to Quebec. And Ramparts really like what he's brought them this year. Puck comes to Andrews. Andrews lost the puck. Ovcharov will skate it in. Russian makes the pass to Dorian. It's intercepted. Ewens is forced offside. He'll skate back to the other side of center, drops it back. 3:08 remaining here in the first. The Eagles lead 3-1. Puck comes all the way down the ice. That could have been icing. It's not. Flynn's got the puck for the Eagles. He'll skate along the right side. Straka doing a good job tracking him. Puck comes into neutral territory. Flynn will dump it into the Quebec zone. Chasing after it is Freddie Meyer. He's crunched along the wall there by Chiron. Puck comes to Straka. Straka turns it over. Boilard. Boilard will fire the puck across the ice, and it goes out of play. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Okay, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Face off to the right ear of the Quebec goaltender. Draw one by the Eagles. Romeo, a shot! It's over the net. Puck comes back as 2:39 remaining. And puck went into play, so there'll be a face-off in the Ramparts zone. Eagles lead 3-1 as Boilard will take this draw. And he'll do so against Loisel. Boilard wins the draw, ends up turning it over. Puck comes back out now as Loisel will skate into the Eagles zone. He's got it on the half boards. He'll hit the point. Rousseau-Hamel shot wide of the net. LaBelle's lost his stick. Loisel's got it now as LaBelle giving a rough ride at the side of the goal. Puck comes to Elliott Letallier. He had it, lost it. Puck comes now to the neutral zone. Desjardins, short feed for Rousseau. Rousseau throws the puck for LaBelle on the left wing. Here's LaBelle being checked by Deladurante. Now Rousseau-Hamel being headed along the boards there by Elliott Letallier. And it'll go off the end wall. Now it comes back to Boilard, skating along the left side. Boilard drops it back for Deladurante. Deladurante moves the puck to Kupek. Kupek will set up behind the net. Kupek will watch the play develop in front of him. 1:49 remaining here in the opening period. Puck comes back now for Quinn. Quinn in the right circle, shooting. Save made by Toll. He'll cover for a face-off. 1:42 remaining in the opening period. I want to say a big hello to my All 60 CHL podcast co-host, Steve McLean, tuning in Ontario tonight. Like the podcast had kind of gone on a bit of a hiatus, but we'll be back at it talking about the Q, I'm sure. Steve just taking care of some other things, including watching the Guelph Storm in action on a nightly basis. He's keeping tabs on Braden Van Gelder for me. Face-off will be to the left of Connor Toll. Draw one by Quebec. Eagles will take possession. Jean Durand gets it. He'll skate along the left side. Little chip pass. Puck comes down to Peitsch. Peitsch, a shot stop. Peitsch got it behind the net, being checked by Meyer. Now Peitsch will send the puck back to Jedelson. Jedelson at center point. Jedelson a shot. It'll flutter Roman Letallier. Pass didn't go. Now Dagenais got it along the left side as he's being checked closely by Letallier. Dagenais sends it over for Meyer. Here's Freddie Meyer chipping it along the wall. Puck comes into the Eagles zone. It'll come back to Jedelson. Jedelson had it, lost it. Now the puck comes back out. As play along the boards. Quinn digging in as 1:06 the time remaining in the opening period. Here's Roman Letallier. Bodied by Desjardins. Morrison will skate into the Eagle zone. Charlie Morrison trying to dangle through Flynn. He wasn't buying it. Flynn's got the puck behind the net. 52 seconds remaining in an opening period that sees the Eagles hold a 3-1 lead. Brady Flynn's got the puck behind the net. They'll skate up the left side of the ice. Puck comes all the way down, and it'll come behind the net. Desjardins. They'll move it forward. Dorian now takes possession. They'll send it across. Desjardins along the wall for Straka. Straka now will push it along the right side. Puck comes back to Holomego. Holomego sends it across. Comes back into the Quebec zone. Desjardins is after it. And the play is icing. So faceoff will come in the Eagles zone. 20.2 seconds left here in the opening period, and the Eagles with a 3-1 lead. Pair of goals from Lucas Romeo into the opening 20. Face-off will be to the left of Toll, as the draw will be taken by Quinn and Soche. Draw won by Quebec. Puck comes back now to Meyer. He couldn't hold the line. 16 seconds remaining here in the period. Meyer will send the puck along the right side. Here's Dagenet with it. Dagenet fires the puck into the Eagles zone. It'll go floating towards the net. It'll be moved to the side. Holomego crunched along the wall there by Quinn. He's thrown to the boards there by McCullough. Little scrum at the horn as the battle for home ice heats up. And the linesman will make sure nothing further comes out of that. Didn't see any penalties being called out of that exchange, so teams will head to the room. Eagles with a 3-1 lead. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Okay, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Back here at center 200, and the player's not yet in the room as Nicholas Holomego has not yet got up from that hit. As Colton Riley is keeping his eye on the situation, we will see if he makes his way down. Ramparts are starting to come to the bench, go to the room now, as Lucas Romeo is having words with some of the players on the Quebec side, and didn't see any penalty called on the play. So I don't know if they would look at that if there's an injury, and the ref's having a conference in the crease. We may see that. So again, Nicholas Holomego hit, and he's very slow to get up. While we wait, we can give you the summary of the opening period, and we'll give you an update on if we see any progress here. The Eagles do lead 3-1. It was Lucas Romeo's 10th of the year from Raul Boyar at 107 that gave the Eagles the lead. Romeo's second of the night, 11th of the season, came from Derek Andrews at 9:51. So it was Andrews that made the pass to Romeo coming out of the penalty box. As Caden Kelly's watching the game up here in the press box. He had the sharp eye. He said he was expecting that assist to be changed, and Caden was correct. So Derek Andrews does get the assist there. So the third goal, Louis Gendron, 14th of the year from Noah Gentelson and Roman L'Italien at 12:15. That was a power play marker. Then the Ramparts scoring on the power play. Maddox Dagenet, his 27th of the year from Nathan Quinn and Freddie Meyer, 15:36. So just kind of a hushed silence here is Nick Holomego going down, and he's now up to his knees, so that's a good sign. Colton Riley is there. He's taking the helmet off of Holomego. So some of the Ramparts players were still milling around. Some of the Eagles players have gone to the bench. And I know with the Eagles, it's probably some of it is a mix of concern for their teammates and also wanting clarification on whether there will be a penalty on the play. So Holomego is going to be helped to his feet, and I think some of the players were probably sticking around because they wanted to make sure there wasn't any help needed. And yeah, this isn't a good sign either. So it happened right behind the bench, and if you're not super familiar, behind the net, excuse me, if you're not super familiar with the geography of Center 200, the Zamboni entrance is behind the net. The Eagles shoot at the first and third period, but there is an open section directly across as well. And Holomego didn't actually bother skating to the bench. He just went right through that exit. So it's probably not a promising sign, but that's our update on him. I have to think I'd be surprised if we see him back this evening. And look at this. They have put a 5-minute major on the board, and the player who has the penalty is Nathan Quinn of the Ramparts. So the star forward, Nathan Quinn, a game misconduct here at the end of the first period. So the Eagles are going to start the second period on the power play, and that could also affect his status for tomorrow. As anytime you get a game misconduct, they'll look to see if there's a suspension involved. So Nathan Quinn given a 5 and a game. So the Eagles will go to the power play to start the second period. Speaking of power plays, the Eagles go 1 for 2 in the power play in the first period. Quebec 1 for 2 in the power play. Shots dead even at 12 apiece. Faceoffs were 14-8 in favor of Quebec. The hits 5-4 in favor of the Ramparts. Individual numbers from the opening 20 minutes. Nathan Quinn, prior to getting his game misconduct, had 3 shots on goal for Quebec. The Ramparts forward Mathis Loisel going 4 for 6 in the face-off circle. For the Cape Breton Eagles, Nick Holomego was +2 before going down to the ice just now. Aiden McCullough also +2. Lucas Romeo, obviously the 2 goals, 3 shots. Raul Boyar goes 4 for 6 in the draw. Louis Chandra 7 for 9 in the draw. That's what it looks like here after 20. When we come back, we'll take a look around the league. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Okay, so far so good. Hey. 5-minute major to Nathan Quinn of the Ramparts. Eagles start the second period on a 5-minute power play. As draw won by Jean Draw. Eagles 13-1-2 when they lead after one. Quebec 2-10-2 when they trail after one. Puck comes down to the Quebec zone as Rousseau Amel for Morrison. Desjardins takes possession. Eagles on the power play here for 5 minutes to start this second period. Puck will come back to Jettleson at center point. Now it comes to Jean Draw on the right half wall. As it'll be Rousseau Hamel clearing it down the ice. The Eagles have outscored opponents 55-45 in the second period. Quebec's outscored opponents 61-59. Eagles lead 3-1, 19-24 left in the period, 4:24 left in a 5-minute major to Quebec's Nathan Quinn. Puck comes now into the Rampart zone, Peich down the right side. Puck will come for Ewens. Ewens along the wall as puck behind the net. And Rampart take possession. Here's Rousseau Amel. Possible short-handed 2-on-1 as Loisel's with him. Here's Rousseau Amel over to Rousseau Amel to Loisel, but the pass intercepted. Now Ewens had a break, but it was cut off there by Elliott Letallier. Peich will skate along the right side into the Quebec zone. He ends up turning it over. Here's Loisel coming up the left wing. Loisel, he's been dangerous tonight. Shot save made, rebound cleared by McCullough. McCullough skating along the left side. He'll come back out to center. Here's McCullough into the Rampart zone. Pass to Romeo. The play is offside with 18:40 to go. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Okay, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at center 200, face off next to the Quebec blue line. Eagles win the draw. Willard will skate up towards his own blue line as puck comes down to McCullough. Here's Willard. Willard will skate up. Then he moves the puck to Soche, throws it to the front of the net as it'll come to the side of the goal now. It's back along the wall, back to the point there for Willard. Willard's got it on the half wall. Here's Willard down the left side. Willard now throws it in front. Puck comes back out now into the Eagles zone. So 18:03 remains. They're in period number 2. The Eagles on the power play here for another 2:58. McCullough will send it across. And it'll come into the Quebec zone as puck comes onto the stick of Willard. As Klouse back there for Raoul Boyard. 2:42 remaining in the major penalty to Quinn. Eagles haven't been able to get a lot going yet as the puck on the stick of Aiden McCullough. Rampart on a passive forecheck here. Eagles making changes. Sometimes you'll see when teams have that 5-minute major, you don't quite get that urgency. You'll see during a regular power play as McCullough will skate up the ice, drop the puck back there for Peich. The Eagles still have time though. Peich skating into the Quebec zone. Here's Reese Peich. Pass knocked away. Now Rousseau Hamel tried to spring. Pass didn't go as intended as Dubé was waiting for the breakout pass. Puck comes back now to Jettleson. Jettleson along the left side for Peich. Shot stopped, and it's covered by the Quebec goaltender. As Patrick Denneguet will hold for a face-off. As the face-off will be to his right, I believe. As the Eagles will send out Elliott Letallier to take the draw. As he will take this face-off against Dorian. Draw one by the Eagles. Peich sends it back to Jettleson. Jettleson on the left side for Peich. Now Elliott Letallier being checked closely by Ewens. Puck comes back out now all the way down the ice into the Eagles zone. 1:57 left here in this Quebec penalty. Toll will send it back to Jettleson for Jean Draw. Jean Draw skating along the right side. Cross ice for Peich. Ends up being a tip pass to Elliott Letallier. Desjardins down the right side. Jettleson for Jean Draw. He'll skate into the Quebec zone. Here's Jean Draw. Now Roman Letallier into the Quebec zone. Here's Roman Letallier shooting, and it's over the net. Peich now had it, lost it. Puck comes back out into neutral territory. As the puck comes back to Jettleson. Jettleson coming in over the blue line. He makes the play to Jean Draw. Jean Draw now for Jettleson. Jettleson sends it there for Roman Letallier. Roman Letallier will move the puck back. Peich now for Jean Draw. Jean Draw, Jettleson Jettleson throws it for a tip, wide of the net. Puck comes back out now behind the goal as it'll be Peitsch holding. Comes back out into the Eagles zone, so the Eagles have to set up again with 1:03 remaining here in the power play. As Jettleson will take possession. Jettleson will skate up towards his own blue line. As he'll move the puck there for Roll Boyar. Boyar pushed off the puck by Desjardins. He'll move it along the left side. Puck comes all the way down the ice as Toll will hand it off to McCullough. McCullough has the puck behind the net. He'll skate forward as puck comes back now into neutral territory. Romeo down the right side. Ewens had it, lost it. Puck comes back the other way. Skating up the ice is Loiselle. He's been dangerous for Quebec tonight, trying to dangle his way through, and he does! A save made by Toll as the puck will come all the way down the ice. 18 seconds left here in this Eagles power play. Meyer being checked closely by Soche. Soche lost the puck to Meyer. Now it comes back to the point for Boilard. Down the left side it goes. Play behind the net. Ewens has it. Penalty about to come to an end as DeRousseau is serving it. Time ticking down here. And that is going to do it for the major penalty. Eagles didn't really get a lot of chances there as Rousseau will send the puck along the wall. Eagles did not get any shots. In fact, there were no shots at all for either team during that 5-minute stretch. Actually, I stand corrected. The Eagles did register one shot, but Quebec with 3 shots. Puck comes back behind the net. It's onto the stick of Cal Ewens as he'll set up behind the goal. He'll move it for Meyer. Meyer will skate along the left side. Beveridge now dumps it into the Eagles zone. Puck comes back out towards the Eagles goal. Deladorante looks for Andrews. Andrews now will skate towards center. Lost the puck. It'll come back out now to Pilling. Pilling along the right wing. Pilling, little drop pass there for Charron. Charron's got it in the corner. He'll move it along the wall. Puck comes to Beveridge. 14:06 remaining here in the second period. The Eagles lead 3-1. Puck comes back out now into the corner for Charbonneau. Charbonneau moves it there behind the net as it's Straka with it. Over center and over the blue line he goes. Andreas Straka for Dagenet. Dagenet shot wide of the net. Puck will come back as Brady goes after it. Into the Eagle zone. Josh Brady, the former Ottawa 67, sends it across for Charbonneau. Puck comes onto the stick of DeRousseau. He's being checked by Flynn. As 13:34 remains here in this second period. Puck comes back now to Dagenet along the left side. Dagenet being checked by Jettleson. Jettleson's lost his stick. Dagenet ends up going into the net. Morrison tries to keep it alive. Jettleson lost his stick. He gets it back. Roman L'Italien will try to clear it away. Puck comes back to Desjardins for DeRousseau. DeRousseau, chip pass, ends up turning it over. Puck comes back to center. DeRousseau given a rough ride there by Roman L'Italien. Here's Boilard coming in. He's met by Desjardins. Boilard will fire the puck towards the net. Howard now with it. Howard drops it back. 13 minutes to go here in the second period. Puck will come back out now into neutral territory. Howard coming in over the blue line. Up the left wing he goes. Howard looks for Dorian. A shot into the corner it goes. Dorian's got it now in the corner. Lost the puck to Romeo. Romeo now for Boilard. Boilard will send the puck forward for Elliott L'Italien. It'll come into the Quebec zone. Ewens, little chip pass there for Howard. Howard along the right side. Puck comes back into neutral territory. Is scanning up over center is Ewens. Ewens tried to find a man in front of his Dorian. He was taken down there by Boilard. That's going to be a penalty. Puck comes back now along the right side as Dubé being checked by Kupak. As the play blown down. It's going to be a hooking call. So the Eagles will go to the penalty kill when we come back. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Lewis. Louis Gendron and his Eagles about to go to the penalty kill as the Quebec Remparts will have Roel Boyard in the box. Eagles go to the penalty kill. Rempart power play 1 for 2 on the evening tonight. Face-off will be to the right here of Toll as Dagenet will take the draw for Quebec. He'll do so against Gendron. Dagenet with Ovcharov to his left, Beveridge to his right, Meyer to his left point, Straka right point. Draw won by the Eagles. McCullough will send it back for Kupek. Peitsch and Gendron out there as well as the Eagles fire the puck down the ice. Rempart have to set up again. 12-13 remaining in the period. 1:49 left in the penalty to Boulard for hooking. Puck comes back up along the right side. Skating up to Meyer. He'll end the puck to Straka. Straka coming into the Eagles zone. McCullough has it. He ends up turning it over. Ovcharov shot. It's blocked. Puck comes out in front of the net. Stepping into it. Dagenet. Save made. Oh, and an Eagles player is down. It's Brady Flynn. Dagenet now trying to take advantage of that. Pardon me, that's Peitsch that's down. Here's Meyer. There's a sharp angle shot. They score, and the Eagles are not going to be happy about that. Reese Peitsch down. The fans are not happy at all. I believe Peitsch was hit by a puck. Oh boy, and that's one of those discretion things that just comes to haunt you. And if you're Quebec, that's what you've got to do. You got to play to the whistle. And it ends up being a one-timer in the right circle. Very similar spot to where Dagenet scored in the power play in the opening period. But this time it was like a 5-on-3. The Eagles were shorthanded, and Peitsch goes down, and he's going to go to the room. And the Eagles fans not happy. And boy, that is a tough break for the Eagles, and that's entirely a discretion situation. If a player is hurt, referees can't blow it down until there's a change of possession, but they can call if it's deemed a very serious injury. And that's definitely a tough one to swallow if you're the Eagles. So it's going to be Straka with the power play goals, 9th of the year, and it's a 3-2 score. And, of course, now the Eagles have to worry if Peitsch is out of the equation. The Eagles already without Holomego. Here's Loisel. He'll send the puck for Rousseau-Hamel. As we'll try to recap everything that's gone on here in a second as Rousseau-Hamel will send the puck back. Now Morrison will move the puck to Desjardins. Rousseau-Hamel skates up the ice. He'll make the play to Howard. Howard looks for the one-timer. Puck comes back for Rousseau-Hamel. Shot! It's over the net. Puck comes all the way back around with 11:13 to go. Straka gets the goal. Meyer and Dagenet the assists. As the puck comes all the way down the ice into the Eagles zone. Flynn goes chasing after it. He's thrown to the boards by Howard. Howard will end up turning the puck over. Rousseau-Hamel will move the puck. Loisel's got it now for Quebec. He has been good for the Ramparts tonight. He'll send the puck for Charbonneau. Open point, top left circle. Slinging in. Shot wide of the net. Boy, that goal going right to Quebec's legs. Here's Andrews with it. As Charbonneau rubs shoulders with Hartland. Puck comes back along into the corner as 10:38 the time remaining in this second period. The Eagles lead 3-2. Puck comes back now to Andrews for Jettleson. Jettleson will skate over center. Penalty coming up here to the Quebec. Jettleson skating along the left side. He'll drop the puck back for Pilling. Dorian touches it. And the Eagles will go to the power play. $10:19 remaining here in the second period. Eagles will go to the man advantage where they're 1 for 3 on the night, including that 5-minute major that Quebec was able to kill at the beginning of this period. Face-off will come out to the left of the Quebec goaltender. Actually, it looks like they might move the face-off to his right. So the Eagles will use Gendron, the L'Italiens, Jettleson, and Boulard. Face-off will come to the left of Deninier as Morrison, Dubé, Desjardins, and Loisel killing this penalty for Quebec. Loisel will take the draw against Gendron. Draw one cleanly by the Ramparts. Morrison will send it along. Puck comes down to Jettleson. Jettleson along the left side. Comes along the half boards. Back to Boulard. Boulard now sends it there for Gendron. Gendron shot, stop, rebound, cleared away. Gendron has a power play goal tonight. Puck rung along the wall. It'll bounce by Boulard. It'll come to neutral territory. Boulard gets it back. 9:55 left in the period. Eagles on the power play for another 1:35. Boulard a shot. Deninier will cover for a face-off. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Face-off will be to the right here of the Quebec goaltender. Eagles still in the power play for 1:32 as Maverick Rousseau-Hamel is in the box for holding. Eagles power play 1 for 3 on the night. Draw one cleanly by the Eagles. It'll come back to the point. Here's McCullough. Shot. Chance in front. Oh, Romeo, the hat trick was waiting for him. He couldn't get to it in time. And the puck is fired down the ice. The Eagles will have to tag up. 9:40 left in the period. 1:20 left in the penalty to Rousseau-Hamel. Fourth power play of the night for the Eagles. They're 1 for 3 on the power play. Eagles lead this game 3-2. Here's Romeo. He'll skate up the right side. It'll come back behind the net. Denegay had it, lost it. Puck comes back to Klouse. He's knocked off the puck by Straka. Here's Straka. Has LaBelle driving the net with him. Straka passed to LaBelle. He couldn't catch up to it. LaBelle's got it in the corner. LaBelle had a breakaway in the first period that he ended up missing the net on. Here's Hartland skating up over center into the Ramparts zone. A little drop for Romeo. Romeo now for Hartland. Hartland throws it in front. Puck comes back. Klouse couldn't hold the line. Klouse now has it on the other side of center for McCullough. McCullough will float backwards with 8:58 left in the period. 38 seconds left here in the Eagles power play. McCullough. He'll skate up towards his own blue line and then over center. Little drop pass there for Jean Draw. Hustling into the Rampart zone he goes. Jean Draw now comes back to Elliott L'Italien. Along the wall for Peich. Peich now in the corner. He's being checked by Morrison. It'll come back along the sideboards and into the Eagles zone it goes. 17 seconds remaining here in the penalty as puck comes to Jettleson behind the net. Here's Jettleson. He'll cruise up the ice. Moves the puck to Peich. Peich comes up the left wing. Peich drops it back. Now Jettleson will take it on the other side of center. Here's Noah Jettleson. He'll skate up over the blue line. Dumps it into the Quebec zone. Penalty over. Rousseau-Hamel's out on the ice. He's back to 5-on-5. Loiselle will send the puck forward for Rousseau-Hamel. Puck comes back now to Boulard. Boulard being watched closely there by Loiselle. He'll send it back to Della Durante now for Jettleson. Top right circle shot. Save made. Here's a chance for Jean Draw. Puck will fiddle into the corner. Now it's cleared from the net. It'll come back to Jettleson. Jettleson down the right side for Jean Draw. Shot. It'll go into the corner. Now Della Durante on the left side. Being checked there by Rousseau-Hamel. Elliott L'Italien had it, lost it. Now the puck will come out into the corner as Pilling on the right side. He loses the puck. It'll come back to Morrison. Morrison will bring the puck to center. Left side for Loiselle up the left wing. Loiselle. He'll shoot. Save made by Toll. That is slightly off. Ref has not noticed. Toll will adjust it, and the puck comes back out to the other side of center for Brady. Brady sends the puck across the way. It'll come back now for Beveridge. Beveridge will throw the puck over as skating in is Brady. He'll shoot. It'll go into the corner. Puck comes back now on the wall for Beveridge. Eagles take possession as big hit there by Straka. Here's Dagenet for Straka, throws it in front, chance. Save made there by Toll. Beveridge on the rebound. Toll with another big stop. Shot 17-16 in favor of Quebec. Score 3-2 in favor of the Eagles. Puck comes back down the wall as Kupak being watched by Straka. Now Beveridge will scoop it up. Here's Beveridge holding on the half wall. He moves it down the boards looking for Straka, being checked by Kupak. Anders given the shoulder there by Dagenet. Now Della Durante. He'll skate along the right side. Puck comes back out now into neutral territory as I think we might have had a penalty behind the play with 6:38 remaining. Actually, they're going to try to fix that net. So we'll allow them to do that. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at center 200 as the Eagles and the Rempart have 6:38 left in the period. The Eagles lead 3-2. Coming up at the intermission, going to be joined by Jeremy Fraser of the Cape Breton Post. Going to talk about the first 40 minutes of this one. Talk about a busy February in Cape Breton and more. That's coming up at the intermission. Jeremy Fraser will join us. Puck comes into the Quebec zone. Ewens has it for the Rempart. He's hammered along the wall there by Romeo. Now Boulard. He's being checked. Dorian will thread the puck. Comes back to the point for Flynn. Flynn along the wall there for Elliott L'Italien. Puck comes back now to McCullough. McCullough will fire the puck down the right side. Penalty coming up here with 6:10 to go, and it's going to be against Boulard. Going to be his second trip to the penalty box tonight. And it might have been unsportsmanlike. And he's not particularly happy with that call. So 6:10 left here in the second period. Quebec will go back to the power play. Ramparts tonight. 2 for 3 on the power play. Face-off will be out in front of Toll. Same two teams are coming tomorrow. You can see Antoine Dorian, the St. Louis pick. Maybe you'll see Nathan Quinn, the Flyers pick, but he could be suspended for all we know. In the battle for home ice, Ticketmaster.ca. Search Cape Breton Eagles to get your tickets. Call or visit the box office, 902-564-2200 as the Eagles take on the Remparts tomorrow at the Nest. The Eagles win the draw. McCullough will try to send the puck to Quebec. As unsportsmanlike conduct is the penalty against Boulard. Eagles have it in their own zone. Ovcharov will move the puck to Beveridge. Back to the point there for Straka. Straka on the right side. Straka being checked there by Gendron. Puck comes back to Ovcharov. As back to the point it goes there for Meyer. Meyer holds down the left side for Beveridge. Beveridge pass across. Comes back out now to the point as Meyer will take possession. He'll move it for Beveridge. Top left circle. Shot, it's blocked on its way to the net. Puck comes back now for Beveridge. Beveridge will send the puck for Meyer. Meyer has it at center point. 1:18 left here in the Quebec power play. Beveridge throws it over. Puck comes back for Meyer. Top left circle. Freddie Meyer Jr. will peel back. Sends it across for Dagenet. Dagenet now in that right circle where the Ramparts have scored both power play goals tonight. Beveridge bunts the puck forward as Ovcharov battling for it in the corner as we have a minute left in this Quebec power play. Toll will sprawl forward and cover for a face-off. 5:06 left in the period. 56 seconds left in the penalty as we get some pushing and shoving there at the side of the Quebec net. Coming up at the intermission, we're going to hear an excerpt from a podcast that I did with a gentleman by the name of Eli Klouse, a student journalist at Boston University, and he wanted to do a 3-part series on the ever-evolving CHL NCAA dynamic. Wanted representation from the different major junior leagues, and they reached out to yours truly for the Q perspective, and I had a chance to record something with him on Sunday night, so you're going to hear part of that conversation. Look forward to hearing the whole thing and some of the other guests that he's catching up with. Face off to the right here of Toll. Draw one by the Eagles. It'll come back to McCullough. He'll hand it off to Kupek. He'll fire at the length of the ice. 52 seconds remaining in the penalty kill. 5 minutes left in the period. The Eagles lead 3-2. Here's Cal Ewens. He'll skate up the ice. Little drop pass there. Coming up the ice here with some speed is LaBelle. Makes the feed for Dubé. Dubé's got LaBelle driving the net. LaBelle pass across. Oh, what a save by Connor Toll. Coming across today. Rob DeRusso gets the glove on it. Oh boy, prevented this from becoming a tie game. 24 seconds remaining here in this Quebec power play. Here's Cal Ewens up the right side. Ewens moves the puck there. DeRusso's got it again after being denied. Sharp angle shot. It's blocked. Puck will come back now for Dubé. Dubé along the right side being checked by McCullough. He'll send it back. Ewens now has it. Here's Ewens. Chips it along the right side. Puck comes back for LaBelle. LaBelle sends it back to Ewens. Dorian a shot. It's blocked. Puck comes back now for Elliott Letellier, and he'll fire it all the way down the ice as it'll be icing as the penalty had come to an end. 4:02 remaining here in a period at number 2. The Eagles lead 3-2 on the Ramparts. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. This is Thank you, Connor. Connor Toll and his Eagles leading by a count of 3-2 on the Quebec Remparts. Elsewhere in the league, Sherbrooke is up 2-0 on Chicoutimi, courtesy of Luc Poirier and Thomas Rousseau. Moncton is up 3-0 on Val d'Or. Caleb Denoyer, Tommy Blyle, and Nico Tornes have the goals for the Cats. And other game going on is Rinderena and Gatineau. We'll see if we can get you the score there, as Rinderena is up 1-0. We'll let you know the score is there when we have it. Draw one by the Eagles. 3:59 remaining. That was Benjamin Brunel who has the goal for the Huskies. As here's Elliott Letellier coming up the right wing. He's got the puck on the half wall as It'll come deep into Quebec territory. Desjardins moves the puck for Howard. 3:47 remaining here in the second period. The Eagles lead 3-2. Puck will drift on Connor Toll, and he'll cover for a face-off. Reminder, when the Eagles are on home ice, you can purchase 50/50 tickets from anywhere in the province of Nova Scotia. Go to eagles5050.ca, and you can get your tickets that way. They'll sell tickets into the third period. Of course, people are buying them here at the arena as well. The winner tonight is taking home at least $2,900. Face-off will be to the right of Connor Toll. Straka will take the straw against Boilard. Draw one by the Eagles, sent back. Now it'll come to Jettleson on the left wing. Jettleson loses the puck to Dagenet. Dagenet now holds it. He'll send it back to Charbonneau. Charbonneau, a shot, save made. Toll stays square to the puck again. And they'll cover for a face-off. Shots are 22-16 Quebec. Eagles with a 3-2 lead. As the face-off will come out in front of the Cape Breton goal again. Game 3 of the Cape Breton High School League Final. Glace Bay is leading Memorial 7-3. If Glace Bay wins tonight, they will be crowned league champions. They lead the best-of-5 series 2-0. Face-off to the right of Toll. Draw one cleanly by the Eagles. McCullough will push the puck along the right side. Comes back to center. Charbonneau now for Dagenet. Dagenet skating along the left side. Here's Dagenet shooting. Stopped by Toll as McCullough will move the puck up the ice into the neutral zone. It goes. Charbonneau will send it back. Puck comes back now onto the stick of Brady. He'll dump it into the Eagle zone. Toll's out of the net to play it. Connor Toll ends up turning it over. Straka now, chance! Save made, rebound, cleared away by Gendron. Dagenet's got it now. He'll hold. He'll send it back for Straka. He lost it. Play goes the other way. Romeo will send it to Gendron. Gendron coming into the Quebec zone. Here's Gendron. Lost the puck as Dagenet will move the puck forward. Maddox Dagenet's been excellent tonight for Quebec. Here's Beveridge trying to dangle through. Great job by Brady Flynn. Reminder, the Eagles have played this period with 5 defense as the puck comes back to the point. As Ewens tries to feed Loisel, no go there. As Loisel holding, he'll try to feed the slot, no go again. Hartland will move the puck along. And it's been good to see Reese Peitsch on the ice after he took that shot earlier in the period. As Loisel giving digs to Flynn behind the play, and play goes right on. Now Gendron going after Loisel, and finally the play is going to be blown down. Oh boy. All kinds of excitement happening here. Rivalry being built. So we'll see if we're going to get any penalties. I think both Gendron and Loisel are going to go. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. So, penalties, and I don't know if those were called during the play or after the play. So we'll see if this is going to be 5-on-5 or 4-on-4. I think it's going to be 4-on-4. So, Gendron and Loisel, yes, they did blow the play down, so it was called during play. So 4-on-4 coming up. And we will see some open ice here for the next little bit. Coming up in the intermission, we're going to have Cape Breton Eagles birthdays. We're going to hear about a pair of Ontario free agents, a tough guy, a current Q player, a one-year star 20-year-old, a current U Sport player, and a Maritime affiliate player. That's coming up at the intermission, Eagles birthdays. Eagles lead the Rempart 3-2, 2 minutes of 4-on-4 coming up, 2:15 left in the period. Eagles win the draw. Jettleson will move the puck for Soche. Here's Meyer with it. He'll send it across as it'll come out into the Eagles zone. Meyer takes possession. Meyer holds at the point. He'll move the puck down the left wing looking for Ovcharov. Puck comes back now along the sideboards. Minute and a half to go in the 4-on-4. Shot from the point, blocked by Kupek. Eagles lead 3-2 here late in the second period. Ovcharov now trying to cut to the front of the net. Here's Klouse. Lost the puck to Ovcharov. Jettleson digging in as well. Jettleson being checked by Ovcharov. Puck comes now on the right side for Klouse. Klouse for Soche. Soche coming in over center. Here's Soche. He'll move the puck into the Quebec zone. Ewens has got it behind the net. Ewens will skate all the way up towards zone blue line. 1:05 remaining in the 4-on-4. As Ewens, 15-second difference between the clock and the penalties. Here's Ewens. He'll try to feed the other side. Della Durante did a great job taking away the center. Puck comes to Boilard. Boilard will bring it in over the red line into the Quebec zone. Ewens has got it behind the net. 47 seconds remaining here in the 4-on-4 sequence. Here's Straka. He's given a tug there as play goes on. Dorian skating along the right side. Antoine Dorian hustling behind the net. The draft pick of St. Louis throws it out in front, and a save made as Toa will cover as Della Durante and Straka now pushing and shoving. As the Eagles, again, back in action tomorrow. Again, want to remind you, you can be the fan of the game tonight for Luann's Cafe by texting the word Fleury. That's F-L-E-U-R-Y to 902-595-5900 in honor of Marc-Andre Fleury being named to the QMJHL Hall of Fame. Face-off will be to the right of Connor Toll as Wallar will take the draw against Straka. 34 seconds left here in the 4-on-4. 49 seconds left in the period. Rempart win the draw. Dagenet sends it across. Elliott Letallian being checked by Straka. Here's Flynn on the wall for Jettleson. 39 seconds left in the period now. Jettleson blew a tire. Dagenet's got it behind the net. Dagenet throws it to Straka. Oh, he fanned on it. Straka tries to get the rebound, makes the pass to Dagenet, but he'd already turned around. Desjardins got it now in the corner. 14 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Desjardins will send it back to Straka. Straka shot for the point. Bounced off the back there of Flynn as the puck will drift out into neutral territory. That is going to mostly do it for the 4-on-4. Period ticking down. Now Dagenet will skate up the ice. Tries to feed LaBelle. LaBelle using that speed to the net. Shooting and a save made. Rebound swept away from the side of the net. Puck comes back down for Gendron. 6 seconds remaining. Gendron trying to spink a pass. No go there. And the period will come to an end. Quebec gets one back, but the Eagles still lead 3-2. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Back here at center 200 as the Eagles lead the Quebec Remparts 3-2. Only goal in the second period did belong to the Remparts, though. Andreas Straka's 9th of the season on the power play from Freddie Meyer and Maddox Dagenet coming at 8:18. That made it a 3-2 score. The shots in the second period, 13-4 in favor of Quebec. Two-period total, 25-16 for the Remparts. Power plays tonight, Quebec is 2 for 4. The Eagles 1 for 4. Faceoffs 25-15 for the Eagles, and the hits 10-8 in favor of the Eagles. So that's what it looks like. Other individual numbers from the opening 40 minutes. Matthias Loisel, Charlie Morrison among the players with 3 shots on net for Quebec. And Loisel also winning 7 of 9 faceoffs tonight. 3 hits for Charlie Morrison. For the Eagles, Reese Peich, Lucas Romeo, each 3 shots on net this evening. Same for Louis Gendron. Gendron's won 12 of 15 faceoffs tonight. Raul Blair winning 6 of 10. Romeo and Sam Kupak each with 2 hits. We will take a break, and then we'll go around the league. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Time now to take a look around the league at what else is going on in the QMJHL. The Rinneran Huskies lead Gatineau 3-1 since we last checked in. Lars Steiner and Antoine St. Laurent scoring for the Huskies. Finn Barton scoring for Gatineau. That is at the end of 1. The Moncton Wildcats leading 3-0 over Val-d'Or, nearing the end of 1, and Sherbrooke is up 2-0 on Chicoutimi in the first. So that's what's going on around the league. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Jeremy Fraser with the Cape Breton Post. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
I completely forgot I was even doing this.
What's that?
I didn't even know I was doing this until I saw your Twitter.
Oh, sorry. I told you, didn't I?
You did, but
I didn't confirm.
I guess.
It's all right. Good thing I told you.
Well, good thing
Or
I
good
saw
thing
it
I
on
good
Twitter.
thing I tweeted it out.
Yeah, one that never even came over.
It's been like 4 months.
Yep.
Now that we haven't done before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done it a couple times.
Patrick McNeil back here with you on the second intermission as the Eagles lead the Quebec Remparts 3-2. Joined now by Jeremy Fraser of the Cape Breton Post. Jeremy, we've seen a little bit of everything in this game. What do you make of the first 40?
Yeah, Cape Breton started off good. Scored that early goal by Lucas Romeo. 2 goals early for him. 3-0 early for Cape Breton. They get a 5-minute power play to start the second period, get very little on it. I don't even think they got a shot, to be honest with you. And then it seems like Quebec starts coming on. And I thought it was more of a Quebec second period than Cape Breton. But, I mean, Quebec scores to make it 3-2. Fans don't like it. Pyatt is on the ice. Unfortunately, that was the right call by the officials. Cape Breton was unable to get possession of the puck, and the puck was not able to leave the zone. So the referee did make the right call on that by continuing play. So unfortunately, tough break for Cape Breton, but they still got the lead 3-2 going into the third.
I'm really glad you brought that up because you do have the ref background. My understanding was the possession has to change before it's blown down, but
Correct.
I guess if it's a super serious injury, that's ref's discretion?
It is a ref discretion, and it's something like this where if it was a block shot, and if it was up higher, maybe closer to the head, maybe it would have been blown down, or if a player went into the boards hard, then you would have blown it down because it could have been a serious injury. On that one, it was more of a leg injury, so I think he thought maybe that he maybe could have got to the bench, and if he would have tried, I don't think he could have got there, but at the end of the day, Cape Breton didn't get possession of the puck, and the right call was made on the ice.
Yeah, Pyatt comes back, which is great to see, but
Absolutely.
it also does kind of validate the officials thinking in that spot. Obviously, a great first period with Lucas Romeo getting those 2 goals. Connor Toll, though, that save that he made on DeRousseau coming across with a glove, I think he's been pretty strong for the Eagles. What do you make of him?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a game saver as of right now because that would have made it a 3-3 game and could have switched momentum a little bit more because Quebec was coming on, as I mentioned, in that second period. So kudos to Toll for making that save and probably one of his best ones of the season, if not definitely the game, but definitely could have been the season as well.
Yeah, and as you said, it's a tie game. If that goal goes in, we're coming up on the month of February. How exhausting is the month of February for a sports reporter in Cape Breton these days?
Oh, you know what? It is exhausting. There's a lot going on. You have the New Waterford Coal Bowl Classic early on, the high school basketball tournament. You have the Red Cup, which they're always the same week. So
yes.
You always want to prepare for that, but you're never fully prepared, if that makes sense. So there's a lot going on with that. And then, coming towards the end of the month, you also have the AUS basketball. And then, the Eagles pushing for the playoffs and Major Midget and, the Cape Breton Lynx who are having a success early in their playoffs as well. So there's lots of hockey and lots of basketball going on. And it doesn't get any slower in the month of March as well with lots of provincial championships.
Definitely not. I'm sure one of the things you had fun covering as well was the Junior Eagles in Quebec City. And I know you were just shaking hands with Scott Guthrie. Hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with Scott a little bit later tomorrow. Just how exciting is that for Cape Breton, the Junior Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it is such a prestigious tournament, and there's so many elite teams that come to this tournament in Quebec City every year. And it's not just from this country; it's from across the world. I mean, the Junior Eagles played a team from Romania, so I mean, nobody would have expected that. And to see them have the success that they had, and speaking with Scott earlier this week, it just seemed like you get that first win under your belt, and then it's like, okay, maybe we can win the next one, and then the next one comes and they win that. So they were. It's something that these kids are going to cherish for the rest of their lives, really, because not many kids get that opportunity. And the first team from Cape Breton to be able to win the Quebec International Pee Wee Championship is certainly special, no matter what division it's in.
Absolutely. Brag rights over a lot of the other few teams. First collecting pins, then collecting medals.
Yeah, the pins is pretty special. The boys were telling me a lot about that. Probably their second favorite thing from winning the championship.
I wouldn't doubt that. Well, great work on that front, Jeremy. We'll let you get back to your spot in the press box. Should be a wild third coming up. Thanks for this.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Pat. Always a pleasure.
Jeremy Fraser of the Cape Breton Post. Busy man lately with all those sports in Cape Breton going on. Eagles lead 3-2 after 40. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. 11:31. How was the break? And we are back here at Center 200 where the Eagles lead 3-2 after 40 minutes. Shots 25-16 Rempart, but it is the Eagles in front. Face-off will come at center ice as the Eagles will see if they can hold on to this lead here. Huge game. Eagles this season 21-0-5 when they lead after 40. Quebec this year 3-14-0 when they trail after 40 minutes. Eagles win the draw. Quebec will take possession. He'll dump it into the Quebec zone. Puck comes back now to the other side of center. Here's Della Durante now for Quebec. Quebec will push the puck into the Quebec zone. Here's Meyer, short feed for Ewens. Ewens lost the puck to Peitsch. Dagenet takes possession. He'll send it across. Puck comes back now to Gendron. Gendron now for Romeo. Puck comes back out now to Gendron. Gendron, here's Straka. He'll move it for Dagenet. Dagenet now. He moves the puck to Straka. Straka puts the puck into the corner. Now the puck comes to Beveridge. Beveridge loses the puck to Gendron. Puck comes all the way down the ice. Peitsch in a race with Morrison, and it's going to be icing. And I thought Peitsch might have got there first, but the linesman did not agree. So face-off will come out in front of Connor Toll. Key offensive zone draw for Quebec here early on in the period. The Eagles have been outscored 58-49 in the third this year. Quebec has been outscored 65-64. Louis Gendron, 13 for 16 in the circle tonight. Big draw for him. Draw one by the Eagles. Puck comes back now out to neutral territory as it'll bounce into the Quebec zone. Morrison's got it now for the Rempart. He'll set up behind the net. Fires it out looking for Ovcharov into the Eagles zone as we've played a minute of this third period. Eagles with a 3-2 lead. Puck comes back out now into the Quebec zone as Brady will take it. Brady sends it across. Puck comes behind the net for the Quebec Rempart defenseman, Josh Brady. Pardon me, that's Meyer, not Brady. He's out there with Brady, though. Meyer will dump down the ice as Brady goes for a change. Dorian has it in the corner. Dorian lost the puck. Jettleson will take it. He moves it along the wall. Puck comes back now for Pilling. He's ridden it along the wall by Dorian. Eagles lead 3-2. 18:29 remaining here in period number 3. Puck comes deep into the Quebec zone. Now Elliott L'Italien being chased there by Ewens. LaBelle's after it. He'll send it back to the point. Here's Quebec along the left side as the puck comes back out now for Ewens. Ewens will send the puck along the right side. Puck comes into the Eagles zone. Now it comes back to McCullough. McCullough will rim the puck along the wall there for Hartland. Hartland will send the puck forward. Puck comes now into the Quebec zone. Brady's got it for the Rempart. Played 2 minutes plus here of this third period. The Eagles holding a 3-2 edge. Puck comes back now to Brady. Brady up the right side. Now DeRousseau crunched along the wall by Quebec. Klouse sends it back there for McCullough. McCullough along the right side. It'll come to Andrews. Andrews moves it forward. He'll skate out towards center. He'll dump it into the Quebec zone as Denengue will make the play to Brady. Brady along the right side. Puck comes back out for Rousseau. Rousseau has it. He'll throw the puck into the Eagle zone. Flynn's got it now. Flynn will skate up towards his own blue line. And puck dumped into the Quebec zone. It'll be Brady, checked by Charron. Puck comes back now for Howard. Howard on the left side. Howard will skate up towards his own blue line over center. Howard into the Eagle zone as puck comes back out now for Charron. He'll chip it backwards. Della Durante being pressed there. Puck comes for Loisel. Flynn along the wall. Howard's got it now for Quebec. He'll push the puck back to the point. Desjardins shot. It's blocked. It'll dribble into the corner. Now Rousseau Hamel's got it. He's being checked closely by Flynn. Loisel being watched there by Andrews. Loisel now will skate towards the front of the net. Charron chips it. Desjardins sends it across. There's a shot stopped, and it'll be covered there by Toll. As 16:33 to go in the third period. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Okay, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Face-off will be to the right of the Cape Breton Eagles goal. as Dorian will take the draw against Jean Draw. Tie up off the draw. The puck comes back now to the blue line. Here is Ewens with it. He'll tee it up, shot over the net, and the puck comes out of play. 16:23 remaining now in the third period. Eagles and the Ramparts. First of two meetings. Same two teams will play tomorrow. Come see potential first-round draft pick Maddox Dagenet along with Charlie Morrison and Nikita Ovcharov, other NHL-ranked players. Ticketmaster.ca, search Cape Breton Eagles to get your tickets or call or visit the box office, 902-564-2200. Dorian wins the draw. Puck comes back there for Beveridge. Beveridge leaves it for Ewens at right point. Ewens off the end boards. Puck comes back now for Peich. Peich holds. He'll send it up for Kupek. Kupek coming in over center over the blue line into the Rampart zone. Boilar is after it. Here's Boilar. He's pushed along the wall. Kupek takes possession. Kupek has it now. Boilar gets it. Boilar mixing it up with Ewens. Boilar now with it. Puck comes back out into the hands of Jettleson. He'll fire it off the inboards. Denegay will send the puck back there as Myers trying to direct traffic. Freddie Meyer. His dad played 281 games in the NHL. Hails from Massachusetts. He'll send the puck forward for LaBelle. Puck comes to Peich now. He'll skate it into the Quebec zone. Peich holds. He'll throw it back for McCullough. McCullough couldn't get it through Meyer. Now Ovcharov skates the other way. He's got Dagenet with him. Ovcharov's got Dagenet driving the net. Shot. Puck goes off the high glass. Play there in the corner. McCullough thrown to the boards there by Meyer. Now Elliott Letalien. Lost the puck. LaBelle will skate along the left side. Dagenet ended up turning it over as Elliott Letalien will skate up over the blue line into the Quebec zone. As Letalien holding, shooting, and it's wide of the net. Letalien now throws the puck in front. LaBelle will take it for the Rempart. Here's DeRousseau for LaBelle. LaBelle skating into the Eagle zone. Puck comes into the Cape Breton end. Jettelson's got it now. Jettelson will send it off the boards. Puck comes back out now to Charron. He's got Soche driving the net. Can he get it to him? Shot, save made. Puck cleared from the front of the net there by Brady. Out towards the blue line as Jettelson will push the puck into the Quebec zone. Brady now with it. He'll send it over as DeRousseau moves the puck up to center. Now Deladurante ends up turning it over. Puck comes back to Quebec hands, and it's turned over again. Jettelson coming in. He's offside with 14:28 remaining here in the third period as the Eagles lead the Rempart by a count of 3-2. 14:28 left. Still have time to purchase 50/50. Go to eagles5050.ca. Sales will be closing shortly. Winner's going to take home at least $3,600. You can purchase tickets from anywhere in the province. Loisel and Boilar take the draw. Draw won by the Eagles. Kupek will send it back for McCullough. McCullough winds it up along the low wall. It goes. Now Ewens will send it, turns it over. Romeo's got it for the Eagles. Romeo being hounded there by Brady. Howard will skate up over center. Puck comes into the Eagles zone, and McCullough will scoop it up. 14:08 remaining now in this third period of play. Here's McCullough. He'll gain center, dumps it down the ice. Puck comes back for Ewens. Ewens will set up behind the net. Ends up moving it for Howard. Puck comes for Boilar as Howard sends it over there. Puck comes to Rousseau-Hamel. Jettelson will take it. Jettelson along the wall. Puck comes now for Andrews. He'll fire it into the Quebec zone. Puck comes back for Meyer. Meyer has it behind the net. He'll move it for Ewens. Ewens along the boards. Puck comes back out for Rousseau-Hamel. Now it comes back out to Jean Draw. Jean Draw for Jettelson. Jettelson setting up behind the net. Jettelson's got it for the Eagles. He'll skate up towards his own blue line. He'll bring it over center. Into the Quebec zone it goes. Play goes wide of the net. Here's Desjardins. He'll move it along the right side. Puck comes back out over center. Now skating is Dagenet. Dagenet with a nice move. Hartland did a good job in the back check to get back to him, though. Puck comes for Beveridge. Beveridge will move the puck back down the left side. Here's Flynn with it for the Eagles. Flynn bounces it off the boards. Puck comes to Hartland. Hartland will skate up. Hartland out there with Jean Draw and Peich. Puck goes off the high glass. Peich takes possession now along the wall. It'll come along the boards out to Straka. There's McCullough on the right side. He'll come back to Denegay. Of course, if you just joined us or you tuned out for a bit in the first period, at the end of the first period, Nathan Quinn of the Ramparts given a game misconduct for a check on Nick Holomego as Ovcharov skates into the Eagles zone. Holomego did not return, and Quinn was given a game misconduct. Puck comes back now to Dorian for Ovcharov. He'll throw the puck back to LaBelle. Shot, great block there by Elliott Letallier. Puck comes back to Letallier again. He'll skate up to center. He'll try to get it by Brady. Brady being watched there by Elliott Letallier. Brady will put on the brakes behind the net. He'll throw the puck forward. It's given away to Klouse. Here's Klouse to the slot. Elliott Letallier wide of the net. Now Dorian will skate it for Quebec. Was the puck Dagenet tries to get it to LaBelle, and the puck goes in to the stands. 12:07 to go in the third. Eagles lead 3-2 over the Ramparts. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Game Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Adam. Adam Klouse rejoining the Eagles after missing some time due to injury. The Eagles happy to have him back tonight as the Eagles lead the Ramparts 3-2 with 12:07 to go here in the third period. Shots 26-18 Quebec. Face off next to the Eagles blue line as Wallard will take the draw against Loisel. Draw won by Quebec. Puck comes to Charron. Charron lost the puck. It'll come back behind the net for Toll. Now Kupek along the left side moves it forward. Charron in a one-on race with Meyer. Here's Charron coming in. Oh boy, great job by Ewens getting back to break that up. Here's Loisel. He'll send it across looking for Howard. Pass went a bit far. It'll come in and it'll come back behind the net and it'll be covered by Toll for a face-off as Flynn pushing and shoving there with Howard behind the net. As 11:43 remaining here in this third period of play. Eagles with a 3-2 lead. Face-off will come out in front of the Eagles' goal. As, remember, the Eagles down to 5D in the absence of Nick Holomego, who's helped off the ice at the end of the first period. Face-off will be won by the Eagles. It comes back behind the net. As here's Loisel being checked there by Boilard. Down the wall it goes for Dagenet on the left side. Dagenet, here's a chance for Desjardins, a shot. Puck is bouncing in the blue paint. Where is it? Loisel, a shot. He can't get it on net. There's about 8 guys in front of the goal. Now it comes Morrison. For Desjardins, he fans on a Charron breaking through. Desjardins did a great job backing up to make sure Charron wasn't off to the races. Boy, Hugo Charron playing with some pep in his step here tonight. Here's Dagenet cutting towards the net, shooting, and a save made by Toll. Oh boy, Maddox, Dagenet's been dangerous, but Connor Toll's there again. 11:07 remaining here in the third period, and the Eagles holding a 3-2 lead. As face-off will come out in front of Toll. Be to the left of the Eagles goaltender, as seen a lot of line juggling here as Romeo out there with Gendron and Peitsch. Face-off to the left here of Toll. Draw won by Quebec. Ewens will step into it. He'll go wide of the goal. Play behind the net now as Deladurante rims it along the boards. Puck comes back to Meyer. He'll send it for Ovcharov. Ovcharov pinned to the boards there by Jetelson. Now Hartland jumps into the play. Gendron has it on the half wall. He'll send it back to Hartland as Romeo is going to the room. Didn't get a look at to see what happened there. As they're dropping like flies on the Eagles bench. LaBelle back for Ewens. Ewens has it on the right point. Here's Ewens. He'll shoot through traffic. It's blockered into the corner. As Hartland will try to move it along the right side. Meyer will send it back. As Ewens, a shot, scores! Shot through a screen, and I think Xavier LaBelle got a stick on that. And the Eagles have seen the Ramparts come back, and we're talking about the Eagles losing numbers, and now it's a 3-3 game. A Cal Ewan shot from the point. Looks like it was tipped by Xavier LaBelle. And it is 3-3. Face-off coming at center as that Eagles bench, I said, is very barren. We just saw Romeo go down the tunnel, and you do a head count. Hadn't seen Roman L'Italien, so unsure of his status. The face-off will come at center. So right now, Charon out there with Boulard and Elliott L'Italien. So they're going to review this. I'm going to guess they're reviewing to see if it was a high stick by LaBelle. That is the educated guess that we'll make here. We'll allow them to take a look, and we'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. And we're back here at center 200 as shot from the point by Cal Ewans. As if you heard me talking off mic there, just trying to talk with some of the people up in the press box to see if we can connect the dots. As we look at that Eagles bench, it's pretty thin. I just mentioned Lucas Romeo going down the tunnel. We talked about Holomego going, and Rory Pilling and Roman L'Italien also absent from the Eagles bench. So at this exact moment, the Eagles have, it looks like, 14 skaters available. And the worst news, well, I don't want to say worst news, but other bad news, the goal is a good one. So it is a 3-3 game, so the Eagles have seen a lead elapse, and they've seen 4 of their players go to the dressing room. Puck goes into the bench. And it is actually pretty surreal. You can actually count 9 skaters on the Eagles bench at the moment. We're talking about having to put lines in the blender. You know, one of these games where it can be hard to keep track because the lines, once they get off kilter, you don't necessarily notice if something is amiss. So face-off will be out in front of the Eagles' goal. Puck comes back to the point. Into the corner it goes. As Rousseau Hamel will rip it across. Desjardins shot. Chance in front. Cleared away. Now it comes back out to neutral territory. Morrison's got it in the Quebec zone. Morrison will drop it back for Desjardins. Desjardins along the right side for Rousseau Hamel. Rousseau Hamel will move it for Howard. Howard coming in over center. He'll bring it into the Eagles zone. Tolles out of the net to play it. Kupek's got it behind the net. Puck comes to L'Italien. So they did give LaBelle the goal. So they deemed he did touch it, but that he did not do so illegally. So he gets the goal. Ewans and Meyer draw the assist. Here's Boulard for the Eagles. Boulard will skate up over center. He'll rip it into the Quebec zone. We'll wait and see if any bodies surface on the Eagles bench. Here's Hartland. He'll be checked by Straka. Straka now along the left side for Dagenet. Dagenet for Beveridge. Beveridge coming in. He'll fire the puck into the Eagles zone. As Deladorante now behind the net. So a reminder, the Eagles currently playing with 9 forwards and 5D. Here's Jettleson. Jettleson will send the puck to Klouse. Klouse fires the puck to Deladorante. Deladorante had it, lost at Straka. Will send the puck out. Beveridge for Brady. Brady dumping it into the Eagles zone. As out of the net the play it is told. Deladorante now moves the puck for Hartland. Hartland now for Soche. Up to Klouse. Klouse comes in. Pass to Jettleson off the blue line. Jettleson dangling in, shooting, and unable to get it by Denegay. Here's Beveridge. He'll move the puck along the wall there for Straka. Straka drop pass. Here's Dagenet. Couldn't get it by Andrews. Dagenet, he'll send it backwards as Charlie Morrison up the left side. Puck comes all the way down the ice. And that will be icing against Quebec. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Face off to the left here of Denegay. Denegay, I should say, is the face-off will be between Gendron and Dagenet. Puck comes now behind the net for Andrews. Puck comes to Gendron. Play here in the Rempart zone. The Eagles again down to 14 skaters. Here's Pike, a shot and a stop by Denegay. And of course the Remparts out without Nathan Quinn as he was given a game misconduct at the end of the first period. So definitely a playoff type feel. The trenches in effect. And Sylvain Couturier, he's probably gone between periods looking at affiliates for tomorrow at this rate. As the Eagles said down some bodies, but still a tie game here. 8:02 remaining in the third. Face off to the right of Patrick Denegay as Boilard will take this draw for the Eagles. Robler 9 for 15 in the circle tonight. Wins the draw, but the Remparts take the aftermath. Desjardins will move the puck up the ice. Now LaBelle will skate up the wing. LaBelle into the Eagles zone. Drops it back. Puck comes back now to Brady. It'll come into the Eagles zone. Wide out of the net to play it is Toll. Toll will play the puck there for McCullough. Puck comes back to LaBelle. Now it'll come onto the stick of Brady Flynn. He'll fire it forward now. Elliot Letallier half wall. Letallier down the boards there for Charron. Desjardins now will make a little kick pass. Comes back to Quebec. Quebec a shot. Blocked by a skate. Now Jettleson along the wall there for Charron. Puck comes back out to Brady. Brady will skate up the center for Quebec. Makes the play there for Dorian. Dorian has it on the half boards. He'll come in shooting. Toe save. Rebound swept away there by Boilard. Comes back now to the sideboards as Charron will move the puck along the right side. Soche coming up the right wing. Soche's got it on the half boards. He makes the play for Klouse. Klouse dangling. Rebound, scores! Welcome back, Adam Klouse! And what a goal to put the Eagles in front! Incredible dangle to the front of the net. Gets his own rebound. Puts it by Patrick Denegay, and the Eagles take a 4-3 lead. Unbelievable. Klouse darts through the defense, gets the shot, save made, rebound scooped up. And there it is, a go-ahead goal with 6:52 left. And the Eagles with a very, very timely moment. The face-off will come at center ice. Draw one by Quebec. Ewens will rip the puck into the Eagles zone. Comes back out now to Loiselle. As here's Ewens with it. Ewens dumping it into the Eagles zone as Della Durante had it, lost it. Loiselle a shot. It'll go wide of the net. As puck comes to Klouse. Loiselle sends it over for Meyer. Meyer 3 assists tonight for the Remparts. He's been great. He'll skate it into the Eagles zone as the puck comes back out now to Andrews. Andrews will skate the other way. The Eagles with numbers. Andrews coming in over the blue line. Andrews drop pass there for Della Durante. Shot wide of the net. Puck comes back for Loiselle. Loiselle will fire it into the Eagles zone as Flynn will set up behind the net. 6 minutes to go in the third. The Eagles with a 4-3 lead. Jettleson moves the puck forward for Andrews. Puck dumped into the Quebec zone, and Desjardins got it now for Quebec. Off the right side, Morrison will take possession. Morrison throws it for Beveridge. Beveridge will bring it in over center and dumps it into the Eagles zone. Out of the net to play it is Toll. Toll will rim it along the glass. Peitsch takes possession. Peitsch drops it back. Puck comes to Flynn. Flynn sets up behind the net. Flynn will skate up towards his own blue line, makes the play to Peitsch, comes into the Quebec zone, all the way down the ice, icing against the Eagles. We will take a break. Eagles lead 4-3 in the third. You're listening to McDonald Auto, OK Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB. Thank you, Hugo. Hugo Shaw picking up an assist on that go-ahead goal. As the face-off will come out in front of Connor Toll. 5:24. As face-off is to the left of the Eagles netminder. As Dorian will take the draw for Quebec against Gendron. Gendron's been very good tonight for the Eagles. Quebec wins the draw. Puck comes back now to Flynn. As 5:16 remaining here in this third period. Play blown down on a glove pass. Still have time to be the fan of the game. Text the word Fleury, that's F-L-E-U-R-Y, to 902-595-5900. You could be the fan of the game for Luann's Cafe. Again, that phone number, 595-5900. Your key word is Fleury, F-L-E-U-R-Y. Face-off to the side. It's on the bench side for the Eagles. As the draw won by the Eagles, Jettleson will send it across. As Flynn will skate over center, he'll fire it in, and a glove grab there. And it'll be covered by Denegay as the face-off will be out in front of the Quebec goal. Face-off for the Eagles. Here with 5:04 to go. Eagles with a 4-3 lead. Face-off will be between Willard and Loisel. Loisel's been good for the night for the Ramparts. Draw one by the Eagles. Puck comes for Desjardins. Desjardins skating along the wall there for Rousseau. Puck comes back out for Howard. Now it comes to McCullough. McCullough along the right side. Kupek moves the puck for Willard. Now Rousseau skating along the left wing. Here's Rousseau. A shot. It's over the net. Puck comes back now all the way around into the Quebec zone as Ewens will send the puck over for Desjardins. Desjardins now for Ewens. Ewens will skate along the right side. Puck comes back to Howard. Howard dumps it wide of the net. Puck comes out to in front of the Eagles goal. Deladurante had it bobbled. That Toll will cover for a face-off. 4-3 to go. 4-3, 4:23 to go here in the period. As the face-off should come out in front of Toll. Eagles and the Rempart, first of two meetings. As the face-off will be to the left here of Toll. Draw one by the Eagles. Puck comes back there for Kupek. He'll send it up and into the stands. As 4:20 remaining here in the third period. The Eagles trying to gut one out here, leading 4-3 with 14 skaters on the bench. And a correction, that's going to be, they're going to say that went clear out. That's going to be a delay of game against Kupek. So a key moment in the game, power play for the Ramparts. Quebec power play, which is 2 for 4 on the night. Delay of game, Samuel Kupek, puck over glass. Face-off won by the Ramparts. 4:18 left in the period. It'll come back now to Loisel. Loisel down the left side for Dagenet. Dagenet has it. He'll send it back. Puck comes back for Meyer. Meyer will take possession. Meyer will skate forward over to Dagenet. Dagenet over center. Dagenet coming into the Eagles zone. Holding. As of Charoff and Straka and Beveridge out there with him. And Meyer the defenseman. Puck comes back to Beveridge at right point. Here's Beveridge at center point. Trying to break through the Eagles D. As it comes back to Dagenet. Top right circle. Remember, the Ramparts have scored a couple of power play goals tonight. 2 of them coming from that right circle. Straka had it, lost it. Puck comes to Gendron. He'll try to skate it out. Gendron will bank it off the boards all the way down the ice. 1:12 remaining here in the Quebec minor. 3:29 remaining in the period. As the puck comes back behind the Quebec goal. As Meyer with a nifty move. He's been great tonight for the Ramparts. He'll send the puck forward. As pushing the puck ahead there is Dubé. Now Dorian with it. Dorian will send it back to LaBelle. LaBelle has it at the right point. 48 seconds remaining here in the power play. 3:06 left here in the period. Puck comes back now to Dubé, right circle. There's moves it back to Ewens. Ewens, who set up the tying goal for the Ramparts before the Eagles retook the lead. Eagles lead 4-3. Quebec on the power play here. Dubé moving it there for LaBelle. Back to Dubé. Or back to Ewens, I should say. Shot goes wide of the net. 28 seconds remaining here in the Quebec power play. Here's Ewens with it for the Rempart. He'll make the play behind the net for DeRousseau. DeRousseau, he'll send the puck across to the half boards. Back to the point for Dubé. Dubé now right circle. Here's Ewens. Pass across. And it's deflected into the corner. Anders now with it. Puck will come to Elliott Letalien up the right side. 7 seconds left in the penalty as we get some pushing and shoving there along the boards. The puck went into play, so the play was stopped. 2:26 left of the period, and a second went off there. So 2:26 left of the period. 6 seconds left in the penalty. Eagles on a key penalty kill. We'll take a break. You're listening to McDonald Auto. Okay, Breton Eagles Hockey. 1270 CJCB. Yep. Six seconds left here in the Quebec minor. 2:26 remaining in the period as we see Denegay is inching towards the bench. He's at the hash marks. We'll see if he decides to come out. Eagles win the draw. Deladorante will throw it the length of the ice. Remember, the Eagles were killing the last bit of the penalty, so it was a free icing there for Deladorante, and he took it. Here's Morrison setting up behind the net. 2:15 remaining in the third. We'll see if the Rempart elect to pull their goaltender now. Puck comes back out into the Eagles zone as Loisel has it behind the net. Denegay still in the net for now. Puck comes back to Loisel in the corner. 2 minutes left here in the period. Elliott Letalien will muscle it out. What a game effort here from the remaining Eagles players with just 14 of them on the bench. Puck comes back now into the Eagles zone. Deladorante's got it. He'll skate along the right side, banks it off the boards. Brady comes back into the Quebec zone as 1:44 remaining here in the third period. The Eagles holding a 4-3 lead. Puck comes back behind the net for Freddie Meyer, who's been certainly one of the better players on the ice tonight. He'll skate up towards his own blue line as Denegay reaches towards the bench. Puck goes wide of the goal. Now McCullough has it as 1:22 left here in the period. Straka looking for it as puck will come back out now. Onto the stick of Beveridge. Nice stick handling. Backhand wide of the net. Dagenet's got it. Puck comes back now to the blue line for Ewens, right point. He'll move it for Meyer, back to Ewens. Ewens holds. There's a one-timer shot blocked by McCullough. The puck goes out of play. 4-3 remaining here in the third period. The Eagles leading 4-3, 61 seconds left. Would have to assume the Rempart are going to call a timeout here as they have 6 attackers out. And they will just do that. 61 seconds left in the third period. Eagles lead 4-3. Offensive zone draw for Quebec. This has just been an incredible hockey game to watch. A lot of things happening. Want to congratulate the Glace Bay Panthers, who have captured the Cape Breton High School title tonight with a 9-5 win over Memorial. So they will go to provincials. Memorial, I believe, would have another chance to do so. Out of town, Rinderanda leads Gatineau 4-1. Alexi Lemire has scored for the Huskies to add to that lead. Here, the Eagles lead 4-3. 61 seconds left as the Eagles will see if they can hold on here. The Rempart pushing for that tying goal. And again, 6 attackers out. 1:01 remaining here in the third period. So, Ramparts will send out Loisel, Dagenet, Beveridge, Ovcharov, Ewens, and Meyer. Eagles will use Elliott Letalien in the draw. He's out there with Kupek, Jetelson, Peitsch, and Jean Draw. Draw won by the Eagles. Huge draw. Kupek will push the puck along the left side. Remember, the Quebec net is empty. Here's Loisel. He'll move it for Dagenet. Pass across. It goes off Jetelson. Now Beveridge will send it back to the point. Meyer for Beveridge on the half wall. 48 seconds remaining here in the third. And the Eagles hold on. Puck comes back to Beveridge at left point. He'll move it for Ewens at center point. Ewens now for Dagenet. Dagenet right circle. Dagenet shoots wide of the net. Puck comes back now to Meyer. He'll move the puck to Dagenet, right circle, pass to the front. Puck's up in the air. Where's it going to go? Beveridge is after it now. Beveridge will send the puck and had it, lost it. Peich ends up turning it over. Here's Ewens on the left side. 22 seconds left. Eagles still in the lead. Ewens will throw the puck for Dagenet. Puck is loose in the blue paint. Where is it? Everybody's jamming away. Puck comes loose. Digging away as comes back to the point for Meyer. 12 seconds left here. Eagles try to hold another lead. Beveridge a shot. Puck goes off the high glass. Puck is loose in front. Dagenet jamming away at it. The puck looks like it's in the net, but they say no goal. It was gloved in. Comes with 6.9 seconds left. And that was a weird sequence. I looked up and I could see the puck was in, but none of the Ramparts players were celebrating. So it was clear that it was no goal, and I was trying to figure out as to why. And the referee behind the net emphatically waving it off. And how about this? The real good news for the Eagles here is that this faceoff is going to come out. So basically puck thrown into the net pretty much, apparently. So 6.9 seconds left. So the Ramparts will really have to pull some trickery here, is they have to gain the zone and then score the goal. 6.9 left. Ramparts do win the draw, but the puck takes a bounce. 4 seconds left. Ewens isn't going to have a chance to win it, and the Eagles are going to hold on for a gutsy win tonight at center 200 as Elliott, L'Italien, and Ewens give each other the sticks. As that is going to end a spirited game, as the Eagles get a 4-3 win. And what a turn of events. Eagles see that 3-0 lead slip away, but they get the win. And when you're down that many bodies, well, you'll take it any way you can get it. The Eagles get the victory tonight here at Center 200 by a score of 4-3. So the Eagles get the win. We will take a break and recap the third period when we come back. You're listening to Madonna Lotto, Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.